sorry? Like what maybe politically or socially is, kind of provoking this?
I'm sorry, say the last part of that.
I said it maybe what politically or socially that's kind of going on now is, like as you say, provoking this flurry of legislation.
Well, it's, I think we know that when groups send out mailers and talk about restricting a woman's right to choose in making reproductive health care decisions, that it's a great fundraising tool. We know that, and statistics bear this out, and groups that talk about this, they'll readily admit that. It's very divisive. It's like drawing a line in the sand. And as Gary Daugherty just said, but and I've said this before, the devil's in the details in terms of truly understanding where our rights are. It's 52% of the population are women. This affects women's right to autonomy and self-determination, and yet over the period of time, we still don't have equality. So if you want to go down that road with me, we probably don't have enough time this morning. But I think it's reflective in both the makeup of our folks who make public policy decisions, as Senator Tavares pointed out. It's also, I think it's an issue that continues to keep people very, very divisive, and it's very emotional for people. And so as long as that can keep going, it keeps people apart. I think the most difficult thing to do with this issue is to get folks to sit down and talk. I have done that in this past General Assembly. Before we put out the Prevention First legislation, a group of us on both sides of the issue sat and talked about it and tried to figure out if we had some common ground. I'm committed to trying to find common ground with this issue, but there's a point that I have a line in the sand. And my line in the sand is that ultimately I believe in choice. I believe in every person's right to privacy and the decision to make their own decisions. This is a medical procedure. Maybe if 52% of our legislative body was female, it wouldn't be such an issue, because we understand our biology and the fact that our physiology is, women have reproductive organs and we have a uterus, and therefore, there are medical procedures that are necessary because biology is unpredictable sometimes. One of the things I learned in all of the hearings that we had on some of these bills was that these policies are affecting women who are carrying children, who want to have babies, who want to have, they want to see the birth of a baby. These are wanted pregnancies, and they run into complications, and some of this legislation that's been introduced prevents them from accessing health care. I've heard stories of women having to go to other states to get health care that they need. That shouldn't be. We should not put our ideology ahead of science and medical practice for the sake of the health of all the people and all the women in this state.
I just want to pick up on that one point that Representative Antonio raised with respect to access, going back to access. This does impact the access to comprehensive health care for women. There are many OBGYNs who are giving up their practices of being OB physicians because of all the complications, their fear of lawsuits or being slapped with some kind of a felony or a misdemeanor for a procedure that is legal. And so for women, regardless of your age, whether you're still in the reproductive cycle or not, it is limiting access to full comprehensive health care for women throughout the state of Ohio, but most importantly in rural and urban settings where women do not have the access they need. And so it gets to the health and safety of each and every woman. And as we've shared, if 52% of the Senate and 52% of the House were women, this probably wouldn't be the highest on our priority list with respect to the needs of the people, including women. Certainly, women disproportionately are the heads of household. So jobs, having living wages, having access to affordable housing, those are the issues that women would be bringing to the table instead of this flurry of limiting access to a legal procedure.